What do you think, Vic?
I'm always
Are you ready to spew?
Hey, look, you know what? Can't wait.
Blow chunks?
Got my ex calling me to say, hey, I'm glad I'm your ex. You know, feeling good.
Two-headed Vic. It's New Sports. Victor Allen's New Sports. That's right. Produced by Victor Allen. There's the Matrix, Vic. That's right. Everybody, don your sports bra.
You know the Matrix, man. It's the first Matrix is about 12 years old, man.
It shows you.
It's nice to quote that, but Super 8, man. Make me like Super 8 or something like that.
Super 8?
Yeah.
But Super 8 movies are actually older.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll take the film right now since it's all, it's all that. Because you was going to see it, but you didn't, right?
I was,
I know.
Caught up.
Hey, you guys, check it out. There's a sporting event that's going to take place this evening, probably already a few hours away already on the East Coast. It's the Stanley Cup Finals, but before we get to that, I have to show you a picture. Who is the real Miami head coach? Now, Mario.
Yo, poor Miami.
What?
Vic, too, is joining on the bandwagon of just trying to find ways
to
talk shit about Miami.
Did I see?
Now, just because Eric Spoelstra was a protege of Pat Riley, they get together and diagram plays.
See, he doesn't even know where I'm going.
And all that. So now you're trying to...
No, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just... Isn't that a nice picture?
Well, he looks kind of fuzzed out and looks a little weird. Now, he looks good.
That's the long shot because they focused in on Pat Riley.
Well, he looks good. I don't know about Spoelstra.
He looks kind of objective.
Yeah.
All right, but okay. Here's the real reason why I'm saying this. It's not about Spoelstra. As the Miami coach, period, being successful or not. And he has a hurdle in front of him, which is if you go to the NBA Finals and you lose. The only thing the public's going to accept is if you go next year and win, nothing less. Now, Mario, before
the public's going to forget,
Wait a minute. If he only makes it to, say, the conference finals or the semis, will it be looked at as a failure of coaching with the 3 superstars, or 2.5, depending on how you look at it?
You mean next year or this year?
Next year, meaning next season.
I don't know. Depends on depends on the individuals. I think that the people who are the enemies of the Heat love to point it out like it's a failure.
Right.
I don't think that the city Miami feels like it's a failure, and I don't think the team feels like it's a failure. Right. I think that's the way a lot of the media wants to frame it.
Right.
Because they were going to frame it that anything short of the championship would have been a failure.
Right.
Now, had they won the championship, they then would have focused on how that was a fluke.
Right. Now, let me say this.
How it was going to be.
Let me say this. Any team that's favored in the NBA that goes to the championship and lose, Boston, L.A., all across the board is considered a failure. There is no exception. So Miami's included in that group as well, right?
Well, it depends on who's making that definition. I don't know that that's true. I mean, among some people they are, but obviously amongst the fans, in other words, that's a different bar. If you set the bar that the only person who's not a failure is the champion,
right,
that means everybody else is a failure.
And that's how the money goes into this for a good reason, that if you get to that point, they looked at, if you ask Miami, they all, at the beginning of the year, everybody celebrated what they said was a slam. They even predicted, and we're saying media, people thought that they would win 70 games. It was a no-brainer.
Well, no, actually, some people thought they would. A bunch of people, however, were predicting how they weren't going to go places.
Right.
And actually, those people numbered in the majority. No offense.
Oh, I don't think so.
In other words, everybody I remember on the media shows, they all saying, well, they're supposed to be number 1. Then they would proceed to tell you why they thought they weren't going to get there.
Right.
That's what most of them did. So,
right.
Again, I think the city of Miami is happy. I think the Miami fans are happy.
You heard it here.
I think when you go and it's interesting when you go to the city, I think that people are they're pleased with the showing of the team. I think that the media people are trying their best to frame it as a failure.
Aren't you media?
No.
No,
we are media, not traditional media, but again, even here, you can see I'm trying to resist.
Wait a minute. He's doing Skynet in reverse. Wait a minute. Okay, check it out. I'll do this. It's not about Spoelstra. I just love this because Mario's right. A lot of people took different sides on this. There was a group over here that said, and yes, the media always fronts the condition so everybody can follow it. I hold nothing against Spoelstra. I think he did a fantastic job, and I think it's very difficult to get three superstars to click in 1 year. But I think what they were doing, I think the media took the Boston Celtics situation and said, look at those three superstars versus these three. It's a no-brainer. They're going to win, and didn't look at the depth of their bench. Now, that's an opinion. That is not media. That's what I saw. I saw a lack of bench strength. Now, on that, I think it's a successful year, and I agree with you, Mario. I do. Now, with that in mind, here's the part. The question really is, will coach, well, let's say former coach, executive, Pat Riley, ever coach again? Do you think, period, will he ever coach again?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe, probably not. I don't think he wants to day in and day out. I think he likes coaching. I just don't think he wants to put in a season.
Okay. All right.
So a season is a long time with those same people, and I can see how it can get a little old.
Right.
If you don't need that. I mean, he has nothing left to prove.
True.
So he would only be coaching, purely because he enjoyed doing it. And so maybe he might want to because of the people he's exposed to, but I don't know. I just think that the day in and day out of it, that he just doesn't want to do that. The traveling, all of that. It's a kind of a grind.
Well, you answered a question because I had some options here that I was going through. What conditions would usher in the Heat's Pat Riley to coach one more time? And you already said, okay, I don't think he's going to do it no matter what the condition is. So here's my question.
Eric Spoelstra has a skiing accident a day before the big game. And then maybe he might feel, because in that time, even though you would think that it would be still more appropriate for one of the assistants to step up, but you would wonder if he, like he said, he has a skiing accident,
right?
Or the plane, something happens on the way to the plane or something. Would he step in and do it? I don't know.
I think the hard part is what we can't answer. And look, I'm not there, and I can't say. But this is his watch, his baby. He brought this all together. He's the executive. He has to make this work. And I think part of it, we can't get in the mind of Pat. But is Pat saying, look, there may be a small circumstance where I may have to cover my investment, because he is invested financially in this, and it's not over. They have to spend more money coming up this next season. So the spending of the money is still something that is going to push them towards trying to secure not just one NBA championship. They're supposed to reap the benefit of several winning NBA titles. So I'm going to say that if I had to have a percentage, I would say there's a 5-7% chance that Pat Riley could coach again. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's and not necessarily for the people are assuming for the Miami Heat.
Right.
So I don't know if that's the case. I still think it'd be more appropriate for assistant to step up in the case of something. Yeah. I just don't think he wants to that bad.
Yeah. I mean, you may be right on that. I'm just saying that it's a very good possibility that the public. The public, like you said, the public is slow in coming. They can feed off of the media. And if they feed off of them and turn on them, the organization, you see how the Lakers got turned off.
You mean the public in Miami or the public?
The public in Miami.
Yeah.
If they turn on them, it could change.
I think, again, from all reports I see, the public in Miami is ecstatic with the team.
Well, look.
And the other thing is that in terms of seat selling, you don't have to really win the championship to continue to sell out. Mm-hmm. That is going to be a hot ticket.
Right. It's like
next
Portland.
year.
Portland
it's going to be
sells
a hot
out
ticket
all the time.
Yeah, they're going to be a hot ticket period in Miami with them even just – it was enough to tell you the truth. To justify the money and all that, it was just enough to make the second round, really.
Right.
I think even then at that point you would have still had enough of a stuff ending. In other words, when the season ends, if everybody's talking about what should be and what could be, in a lot of ways that's very good for you to sell tickets, like the Lakers now. With their new coach, we have to see. But just the fact that you have that turnover, even without winning, could have you sell more tickets. So we just have to see. I'll be curious though.
Yeah, and if there's a group that I do feel for, but their decision is business. We know that the bench players, all for the most part, took a hit to get on the team because they didn't have a lot of cap space and salary, and they thought the winning would make up for whatever they took on their salary to join the team in the bench role, and some of those players are not returning. So it's going to be interesting to see. How
and in saying that, they guessed correctly then, didn't they? Because they made a bunch of money, and the same bench, again, this is amazing. What's so amazing to me about some of these sports people, the same bench that you spent the whole season, you sports writers, talking about how bad they were. Funny how they still made it all the way to the NBA Finals, okay? And you could argue and stand their numbers up against the other so-called good benches. So, again, to me, I don't know. I go, so again, once again, it's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies where people don't go back and say, hey, I guess I was wrong. Right. Maybe Miami's bench was good enough because it certainly got them to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, it's still going to be it's still going to be measured against the Boston Celtics, who when they added their two are nowhere compared to the two that were added on Miami.
I agree, except that they didn't make the finals.
right.
So
Boston did. Boston made the finals.
No. The finals for the East.
Right.
But the Heat, with the same bench that everybody maligned, made the NBA Finals and also won a number of games.
No, I'm talking about when the Boston Celtics acquired Kevin and Ray Allen that first year. They converted immediately. It went immediate. It was like one done championship. It was as soon as they came in. That's what they're being compared to. They say, here's the superstars here. You have greater superstars coming in on your team. This should be a no-brainer.
Well, yeah, they can compare, but again, historically, those things haven't worked.
Yeah, I know. The Lakers, it didn't work.
So most of those things. So again, when people go like, "Well, you should win the championship," and they say, "Well, you should," I go like, "Well, why are you saying that?" I'm saying you shouldn't, based on historical perspective, that teams done with that purpose rarely do. So to me, the people were saying they should go all the way. Right. I was going based on what?
Right. They're gonna take. Like I said, it's the basketball experts who I know. I don't claim to be one. So they have more insight than I do.
What was amazing to me is the same people were claiming that they were the best team ever were the same ones who hated them.
Right.
So they would turn around, and to me they were doing two things. They would first give a speech about what the Heat was supposed to do. Right. Then they would follow it up with the speech about why the Heat was lacking because they didn't do what they said the Heat was supposed to do.
Right. Well, the media is doing for one thing. They have to, we know why they're there.
Yeah, they have to justify their own salary.
The same reason. But we're different, you guys.
We don't have a salary.
We don't really have to cater to anything, but we sound a little bit like them. So, all right. So let me go on to the next one because, at this point right now, it's going to be interesting to see how they follow up next year. High expectations. We do love to see a team that we can criticize. If you don't have it, and Mauro, I said this. I said the worst thing you wanted to see is two small market teams that you love both. I said, so you know what that means. Smaller market teams, no enemy, no superstars, makes it for a kind of boring NBA title. Now, you're different. I know you. You're for the little man.
Well, I'm just saying, it depends what people respond to. I don't mind things for the little markets. Again, there are those fans that need the basketball wives in order to justify their being a fan. I go like, so are you a fan of sports or are you a fan of controversy? So if you're really a fan of controversy, you just happen to be watching sports today.
Yeah, I want you to understand, you guys, this is a man who comes from football where it is like any given Sunday. If you get behind the scenes, if you've seen some of the parties Mario has been involved in as a high school football player, unbelievable.
They don't allow that anymore. Now,
you're wrong.
Now they're trying to say that's wrong. I get it. I just go like, what if you text a picture of your penis to somebody, is it really more than just poor judgment? Do they really? What are we supposed to do? String the damn athlete up or the congressman? I was just thinking about that. Right. So you got excited one night, while on the internet, and sent somebody a picture of your privates. Okay, poor judgment. Wow. But really, and all the things going on in the world, do you really want me to stop to censor and focus on this person and go, you bad boy, how dare you? Right. You should resign from football because you show somebody your dick. Give me a break. Wait a minute. Everybody at 16 is trying to show somebody their dick. So what the hell they're trying to? So you're just pissed off because it went through the internet.
You guys got to hide your children.
I'm just sorry. It's this political correctness we're on right now. That's amazing. While the people of Cleveland are like asking for LeBron to be, assassinated. I'm going like, who's the immoral person here? No offense.
Right.
It's a friggin' game, assholes. Get over it. I'm with LeBron. If you really are that upset, you're an idiot.
But that hasn't
Okay.
started with him. It's been around for a long
you oughta
time.
hear- Did you see them? Did you see the sportscasters? Did you see what he said?
Right.
That was so inflammatory. He told you to get a life.
Right.
You're so insulted by that. Really? You're really so insulted. Get a life, asshole.
But wait a minute. The numbers bear it out and the data does, because who provides the concerns and the issues that they have in sports and sports jocks? The public. The public is fueling the numbers that says keep doing it. And they keep following it up.
I don't. Okay, wait. I don't know that is. I don't know.
watch.
In other words,
Watch.
If I want to show you a group of people, I can go get you that people and show you those people and claim that that's the majority of fans. I actually don't think that's. I think the majority. First of all, I think the majority of people in Cleveland don't care.
Think so?
Yes. Now, of the minority of people in Cleveland who are basketball fans, because
Right.
the rest of them are unemployed people just trying to eat that day. Okay.
You guys are employed. Don't listen to him.
So of those ones who are those, then some of them care. Okay. But,
Look.
but the majority of them, the majority of the Cleveland people are watching NFL now, or they're watching or baseball. Well, they were watching baseball.
I'm going to tell you what the Cleveland fans are doing, because they have no championships. They haven't had a winning
and
organization.
their baseball team is tanking.
Right. And so they had LeBron. And that was the closest thing that was coming. And so they put their hopes, their dreams.
You're an idiot.
Then he
ran
out.
Here's the take-home lesson. Don't put your hopes and your dreams in any NBA players. Next. And if I had to tell you that, you're an idiot. Okay.
Okay, you guys.
Look up idiot, and it's people who put their hopes and dreams in ball players.
Cleveland, I think you guys are wonderful. I just want you guys to know that. All right, let me go to the next one. I love this, because they're gonna string
Idiots.
this out. Those people are smart. Okay, here we go. All right, the U.S. Open is coming up this weekend, and I wanted to show you the king of golf. Well, maybe he's not the king of golf anymore currently. But, with the U.S. Open coming up, man, the bottom line is, Mario, we can watch golf, but usually it's something that is done by a player that says, hey, let's take a look at him. Well, you're not going to have Tiger Woods because he's injured. And will any of us, will we or follow anything far as golf, period? Will you follow golf? And if so, which player would you follow?
No. I was barely following it with Tiger. But let's say this, it's not just golf, Victor, but a bunch of other sports, particularly boxing.
Right.
You need a charismatic person that you want to watch. That's why Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson,
right.
Certain people did it for boxing. You try to make them into personalities.
Yep.
Because you need that. And Tiger Woods, let's face it, he actually took golf to another level by making it more mainstream to a lot of us who could care less.
True.
About a game we associated, with mostly older white guys.
Right.
And it's not even, and it's not older guys. It's not white guys either.
Yep.
It's more universal. And plus, the history of golf, now we know more about it.
Right.
Just where it originated, its popularity in terms of certain countries. So, Tiger contributed to all that.
Yeah.
Okay, but right now they're in a void. Golf's in a void.
Yeah.
Like heavyweight boxing.
Yeah.
Is in a void.
Yeah.
They need charismatic characters. They need somebody to come along, and they will try to make somebody into one.
You're right. You're right. We always believe. Look, let's give props to Muhammad Ali. Maybe there were people before him that made love to the camera and was a character, but wasn't just rapped the same way. Babe Ruth was one. The acting people who said, "Hey, look, if you look at my lifestyle and how I roll," he was a character to that generation. But Muhammad Ali made it something different. He took it away from him just being a boxer. He was more than that. He was an energy and a force. Tiger Woods, look, he has to be resurrected. And so I think the call went out there that he is going to be resurrected. And he says, yes, I will, but these nails hurt. Something is paining him.
Well, the
right
industry wants him resurrected. It's too bad in the one sense. It used to be that it was good enough just to be an exceptional athlete.
True.
Now you have to be an athlete and do wonderful commercial spots. Can you imagine that?
Right.
Here you are, you spend all your time practicing, lifting weights. Now all of a sudden they say, oh yeah, but we want you to be personable.
Yeah.
You're like, what? I knock people out for a living. I'm a boxer.
So leave me
Or
alone.
I hit a ball
Let
in
me
a
do my
club.
let me do my work.
Now you want me to be so? Unfortunately, no. It's so in some way it's so unfair because you have some great golfing going on.
Right.
But we don't want them because
Right.
they're not screwing other people. They're not getting enough sex.
Right.
They're not pretty enough or whatever.
True.
So we won't let them be the hero. This goes to our taste again for sensation.
Yeah, and look, the bottom line is golf was at such a area where you can say Tiger Woods says, you know what, I'm going to bring such a following through my successes and failures because I'm a mobilizing force. So you guys win on my failures, where other golf players only win when they win, and they still don't win as high
that's right.
as Tiger Woods. So when they fail, they go off the map, and you don't hear from them anymore. So right now, I can't name somebody that they can say who will take that next step in front that brings that charisma that he did. And right now, they need to have the stories wrapped around Tiger Woods. So.
No, and the part that only thing is that I kind of feel bad, and maybe I shouldn't feel bad, but I kind of feel bad that to me this is really signaling the natural decline that comes with any athlete, Vic. You and I both know no matter how great you are, that no matter how great the athlete, they all get old just like we get old.
Right.
And no matter who you are, and it breaks your heart sometimes.
Right.
But go look at Ali today.
I know.
Go look at Dick Butkus, walk up a flight of stairs.
Yeah, I know, man.
Okay, so Tiger Woods too. You know, I think people were trying to say it's off. I say, well, maybe Tiger's getting old, getting older,
I mean,
and his skills are declining.
Right.
And after a while, you cannot keep exercising or practicing,
Right.
or changing caddies to make up for that. You just are not the man anymore.
Well, I'm going to say this also. You guys should have a deeper respect for Brett Favre because Tiger doesn't have to take the pain and punishment of people coming at him at lightning speed with super duper injections of energy, testosterone, and everything else.
Why you want to bring up Brett Favre? Because he's talking about he might play again.
Right, I'm just saying.
And everybody said, I know.
See, my lead-in is this. Okay, watch how we are forgiven in one case and then the other. Brett Favre extended his life to me in a way in football that many of us can't take pain and punishment, period, and from the best on the planet at their positions and get hit by them. Now, he goes and shows his photos, no different than Wiener. How come he didn't get the wrath the same way? How come they're just annihilating Wiener?
I totally agree with you. In fact, people even said, even when Wiener, you had other people who had affairs with AIDS, used money.
Yep.
All these other folks, they stood behind them.
Yep.
All these other representatives got a little hand spanking or something.
Right.
So even with Wiener, they're going out of their way to try to punish him.
Right.
So it goes to show we protect those that we like. So Tiger, this is where it all comes home.
Right.
If you really were a fan of the media
Yep.
and of the sports writers, they will treat you nice.
Right.
If you weren't, they will treat you badly. Obviously, Shaquille O'Neal in basketball,
They love him.
They love him because they wrote nice things about him.
And he was accommodating to them. Now, see, the part about media, which is they don't want to tell you this, and I wish they would, because let me say this, and I am not from that camp, and I just to let you know, I respect the sports world in all aspects because anybody go study it and go out and do their job. I'm not going to penalize you like a Monday morning quarterback. But y'all got to step up sometime and just say it as it is. If the player's doing their job on the field and on the court and they don't want to interview with you and then you penalize them for that, then you're some punks. I'm just going to say it that way.
To Jabbar. They did that to a bunch of people.
Right.
Jabbar.
In other words, you're like spoiled children who all of a sudden sit up there and say, he didn't talk to me, so I'm going to annihilate him in the media and in the press. I think that's weak. Come with a different game. And if you played the game before, then step up and shut up. That's it, man. So,
well, obviously, we think some sportcasters should get the attention and the wrath. And so
they do.
They should get it. So my thing is, I'm with you. That comes with the territory too.
Yeah, it comes.
You're a sports writer.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some attention too.
Yeah, you'll get to talk to me whenever. I mean,
they give us
I'm
attention.
Yeah,
they write us nasty letters, misspells all through it.
Well, I got some name calling. I got a matter of fact, where's my phone?
Okay,
let me go to the next one. All right, you guys. Mark Cuban. He knows how it feels to sit back and be a success story in all facets of his business empire. But the example of the ultimate champion with rings, who probably is the only man who can say, I can talk to Phil Jackson, but I still got it better because I played on the court and won more rings on the court than Phil Jackson, is Bill Russell. Now look at those rings, all on his fingers. Now, the players from the Mavericks all universally said they want rings, and Mark is trying to usher in. He wants to do something away from the old school tradition. So here's the question that I have, and they've all spoken and said we want the ring. Why? Because you get to put the ring on your finger, and it speaks loudly, and it's a small piece of material that does a lot for you when you are part of the club. They all universally want him to go, look, just give us the ring. All this stuff can come. Now, Mario, would you want a surprise from Mark Cuban? Because you know the man is very giving, as he was at the club a couple of nights ago from the championship, where he left a $90,000 bill to be paid, and he tipped $20,000. Now, guess who got that tip?
That's what they were talking about.
Right. Now, here he is. He wants to do something with the celebration. What do you think Mark has in mind? And would you want the surprise or the ring? Which one?
I was just looking at it. I think he has some other piece of jewelry in mind, and probably a foreskin piercing.
You know what? You're wrong.
A big old diamond foreskin piercing.
We're not talking about Bill Russell either.
So, you can get. So I think it's pretty much something like that, Vic.
Well, they have already said that they think it's a bracelet because the bracelets are probably going to have more bling in it, and to go, because you know this for the most part. But the brothers, and when I say the brothers, we're talking about all jocks, period, across the board. Do they like pimping bracelets or rings? What do you think, man?
I think they play pimping because it's a history with the rings.
Yeah, I agree.
But they need to get it's called a Prince Albert. A Prince Albert is a genital piercing.
Yeah, dude.
This will really bind you together for years. If we could just pierce your scrotum with an appropriate piece of jewelry to signify, represent this. It would represent your winning this championship. How about, I'm just saying.
Right.
Well, you said what's better than an NBA championship ring?
You said.
If they give you a woman with the piercing.
You know what? I almost made it through this show without having anything with some crazy sex in it, but he already, he knew it. He timed me.
Well, I'm just saying, what do you say, what is better than an NBA championship ring?
Right. Well, I'll give some suggestions here. You tell me. Here's the hardest thing, I think. It's like giving the gift to somebody who actually can go buy gifts that they say, hey, look, I make all this money. That's not going to be a big deal to me. So I said, what about a Bentley Rolls Royce, diamond-crusted bracelet, technology stock shares in Cuban's empire?
Nah, man, you don't want that piercing.
You want
piercing, dude.
Oh.
What you want? Big old pair of pearl eyeballs on one nut. Or how about a pair of porcelain? Not porcelain, but a pair of platinum lips on one titty.
Now, dude,
and some gold teeth on the other titty.
Wait a minute. Anything that deals with a woman's breast,
I'm talking about a wonderful figurine tattoo that you attach to the skin, made of like gold and platinum and diamond.
Didn't Dennis Rodman do this already?
I think so. That's why we got to bring it back. Dennis was he was a trendsetter.
Okay.
Thank you, Dennis. We ought to have him come back and consult on the ring.
Hey, you guys, I'm leaving this subject because it's going way to the left or way to the right as well. Here's the part. Really, I can't think of anything that they can do because tradition is one thing about all these players are not going to be together. You only get a championship for a period of time, but you know the ring is forever. I say the ring. You got to do the ring. That's just my vote. But, it's that time, Mario, to go to that favorite subject that I miss Jesse on this. It's called Do You Believe? I wish Jesse was here. So I could have somebody to usher in the pain. And do you believe? And look, I want you to know this. I am a sports jock fan. LeBron's the man. And I say this. Michael Jordan took 7 or 8 years. Kobe took probably about 4 or 5, but he had some elements that came in. Everybody took their time before they got their championship ring, so I'm not hating on him. This is from a media perspective, and I'm going to look at it this way. Has LeBron's legacy taken a hit in the court of media opinion? Of course it has. Now, does he deserve it, Mario?
No, plus and minus. Yes and no. A little bit. I mean, to a certain degree, that comes with the territory. And I also think that people have short memories. So I don't overreact to these things. I think it's like a lot of talk for a while, right, but it's quickly forgotten. It's so quick. In other words, I tested myself. Even though we can name many times the champions of a certain year,
right,
it's hard to remember who they beat.
Right. Right.
You can't you don't remember number 2 and 3. So as much as we talk about it,
Right.
you just really just don't remember it. I just think that they're going to forget it.
Yeah, yeah. And look, hey, GNN, see you also out, man. GNN is always, that's our bureau chief up in Port Townsend, Washington. Okay, I'll tell you what. All right. Then let me go to the next one then. LeBron James, do you believe LeBron James should always be compared to only Michael Jordan? I mean, is that the only measurement he should be measured against?
No.
Okay. And that's what they're doing.
No, they're going to measure him against all big men who have a wide range of game.
As a power forward.
Yeah, well, you end up getting compared to other people that are outside your position, though, still, because you're going to be even compared to the guards.
Right.
Like Magic Johnson, because look what they're doing with Dirk.
Right.
It's now this thing of the big men who can move and shoot.
Right.
And so there's certain ones historically. It's a small group.
Yeah.
But there's a certain group of that he's going to he's in that group for all time. I think, no, he's in that group.
Well, let's say this. Every player has to evolve in their position. We wish one player played every position the best, and so far the best one we know of at this time has been Michael Jordan. And maybe some others, four position players, but he could play every position. And I think Magic Johnson, not as athletic, played all positions when he won the championship when Kareem went down that year when they were playing the 76ers.
Michael Jordan, I mean, yeah, he did, but he didn't play. Magic Johnson came down on offense and played center.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
He played
so
the point,
Jordan,
small, 2 guard, and center. He played them all.
So he had the center part.
Right.
The whole thing is that not all of there's a bunch of people who can maybe play the guard.
Right.
But very few can play guard and center.
Got it.
That's hard.
Yeah, that's hard. And I'm not saying he should be, but I do think, unfortunately, there are some things and conditions that the media is running with. I personally feel like, his time, he's seasoned enough. Here's the question I have to you about LeBron. You've seen him in his physicality. Do you think he's a better passer with how he goes to the basket, better passer naturally than what they call an outside shooter? See, they always say, most players want to shoot outside to prove they can hit the long shot. But he passes so well effortlessly, and he very seldom throws the ball away. Turn it over on his passes. From what you've seen on the court, where do you think his strength lies? We know going to the basket is a strength. They talk about that all year. But between those two, outside shooter or better passer, what do you think?
I think he's a better passer. I think he has to have a consistent shooting game.
Yeah.
And many people have changed that over the course of their careers. So, and that can still be better.
Right.
That could still be better.
Okay.
But I still think it's more with LeBron. It's still a matter more or less of deciding where the fit is,
right,
and what he's going to do, because he can do so many things. I think that's where you get caught up,
right,
at the moment of the decision,
right,
as to what to do, and that's where the criticism comes in too.
Yeah,
because they at the same time they criticize him for not taking charge, they're going to criticize Wade or somebody else,
right.
Either they're going to criticize somebody else for taking charge,
right,
or whose team is it? But a lot of that goes back and forth,
right.
And I think that's part of the issue.
Okay,
but certainly if he was to improve his game, let's say it this way: if he was to improve his game and take his game to another level, that would involve shooting more, right?
It does, and they want him to shoot more going to the basket.
Right.
Than
I mean,
outside.
it would, because that's the part of his game. I'm not saying anything. He has the best physicals, attributes, and everybody, even the ones who criticize him, say he's the best player in the game.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just but that dimension of him,
right,
his shooting,
right,
could be changed, and like Dirk has done, and do more shooting and scoring.
Right. Look, it's no brainer that right now when Dwayne Wade goes to the hole, it's like butter. I mean, he is so good at going at the hole. Who doesn't have the size of LeBron? Something about LeBron, when he becomes a better thinker, I'll look at it like Charles Barkley when he said, hey, I used to run down the court and say, stop me. But when I got older, I used my body in a different way strategically to gain more influence under the basket without having to jump over you. When LeBron gets to that and know how to use his strengths going to the basket, because I see D Wade, and I said, every time he goes to the basket, isn't it amazing how he gets there and converts highly, more so than his outside shots. I think that's what they want to see from LeBron. They say, hey, D Wade is not even near the size of you, LeBron. How come you can't do the same?
It's just depending on how their offensive philosophy is, it may or may not call for him to play that kind of game. That's what's so interesting. Everybody doesn't call for him to go to to penetrate. That's not necessary. Or if it is, it's not the same as. Once you start deciding those things, then all of a sudden the style of play of the individuals change a lot. You start telling them to shoot outside more.
Right. Okay.
You know.
Okay. Let's go to our next Do You Believe? Do you believe the public will have a change of heart about LeBron James after he wins at least 3 NBA titles?
After one.
After one? Think so?
Yeah, I think they've already had sort of a change of heart on some levels. Again, the people who are LeBron haters are not. But I think the other people, again, to me, it depends. I don't think that the majority of people look upon this as a Miami Heat failure. The people in the media are trying to say that. I just don't think that the people see that. They think they did a great job of coming and making it all the way to the finals. I just think people look upon it as a Dallas Mavericks success more. That's
definitely. It was a win.
But you notice they write the same article like we were questioning, right? Was it a Dallas Maverick win or a Miami Heat loss?
It was a win.
I think it was a Dallas Mavericks win.
At the beginning, before the playoffs, I said the best team to me, I had picked Dallas, bar none, even over the Lakers. I said the best team to me who's going to bring the most exciting tournament or a title game is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. And I expected Miami to be there, even though Boston seemed to be the one that if they did it at the right time, they could. But, yeah, I agree. I think at 3 titles, yes, they will probably be forgiven. But let me say this. If it's 1 title, he may go through what they call the Wilt Chamberlain effect. Because no matter how much the records has been set, every time they talk about the Boston Celtics, the rivalry back in the day with Wilt, they'll always say Bill Russell got this many championships and Wilt only got 1, which
Jerry West got 1. I mean, a lot of folks got 1.
Yes, they got 1. And based on Wilt's dominance, I'm pretty sure at that period of time, seeing a force like this, unlike any other player, they assumed he would have more than 1 championship.
Well, there you go again with people, additionally trying to categorize those as failures too, because that was also the same discussion applied to Wilt, right?
Right.
Whether he was a failure,
right,
because of losing to Bill Russell.
So often, the Lakers in general, as a team, losing several times
to Bill Russell.
So bottom line, winning cures all ills, which leads me to my last. Do you believe? Do you believe will LeBron James' legacy be considered a failure if he finishes his career with only 1 NBA title? The prediction has already been there.
No, people again try to do that, but I just think no. There are too many players that we know finish up with no titles whatsoever.
Right.
And I think they quoted some statistic that there's 12 or something teams that have something that have never won a title.
Right.
In the NBA, or so there's something like that. So no, I don't think they will. I think with time we tend to soften our criticisms of things. I just think we do.
Right.
And we tend to look back on them in a more gracious way. We're doing that for Patrick Ewing. We're doing that for a bunch of the other people who didn't quite get there, like some of the ones you even named.
Right.
Charles Barkley.
Right.
No, he got a championship. There's some other ones on that list.
Yeah.
But even with them, we're tending to soften our views as we look back on them.
Yeah.
But you know how bad, let's play this. We felt way worse when Patrick Ewing retired.
Because as a person and who he was.
And he didn't have a title. We were people were like, oh, God.
Right. You felt bad. But
you felt bad for him.
But you had Olajuwon, and people gravitate to people who expand their game. And unfortunately, let me just say this. Patrick Ewing was a player, a college force. When he got to the NBA, you could see the level of big men, and no big men came together competitively like the period he was in. I mean, Olajuwon by himself was a force.
Right, but see, that's what's so interesting. Like I said, with time, when you're the number 3 or 4 guy in the league, that's super.
Right.
But you just don't get, it doesn't go down the same kind of historically. But you were, they show some of the other cats that we forget.
Right.
Tom Chambers and some of the other cats will be in the Hall of Fame. And the worst thing about them is that they were the number 4 or 5 best guy at their position in the league. They just want the top 3.
Well, you look at it, it's almost similar to like Rasheed Wallace spending all those years in Portland, and they could always have to battle the Lakers. Never can get to the championship. When they did get past the Lakers, even though they didn't play them, they played the Bulls and lost to what I call the arms reaching out wide of Michael Jordan hitting these outside shots, and he just went like this and says, I can't miss. Then Rasheed bounces to Detroit and immediately gets a championship. So you never know. It's a chemistry.
And he's another one who could go down in the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
Because on any given year, was he the best in his position?
Yeah, he was
Or
very
was he
good.
the third?
He was.
See, there's a
Number 2 in Portland when it came to going to that shot, that down low shot as a center, he did what Dirk Nowitzki did, ball high, and when I shoot it high, you're not gonna touch it. So look, I agree.
It always comes down to who else you're playing against in the league.
Yeah.
Again, are you the number 3 guy or the number 4 guy?
Well, hey, that's it from me. My new sports is over. Guess what, you guys? It's my Friday. I get to take 2 days off and add it to the weekend. I'm bad.
That's right. That's new sports. Hey, come on, get your sports on. Get your hate on. We got controversy. Are you a Laker lover, Laker hater? You hate the Heat? Come on, get part of this. Yeah, we going to have us some controversies.
It seemed like you're marveling in hating the Heat. You said it was
I'm
Scott
not
Pleasure.
hating. I'm marveling at everybody else hating the Heat.
You are everybody else.
I'm not
People
hating
are
the
looking
Heat.
at you.
I'm not, but you know what? I don't mind because I'm not so vested. I'm not a big Heat fan or anything.
Yeah.
I just sit there. It's poor, but you know what? With all the stuff going out, I still kind of feel bad for Dwayne Wade because even with all this negative going on about LeBron, they're not focusing on such wonderful performances that got him there.
I'm going to say this. I look at the value of a person who says, I've gone through this wrath and I have become not only a better player, the best clutch player, and all of you guys are finding out what clutch means. His name is Kobe Bryant. He says, I've had the wrath of public opinion. See, fair and objective just went out the door.
Kobe Bryant. Come on,
right.
you damn Kobe fan.
Wait a minute. Dirk Nowitzki is the best clutch player this year, bar none. But when you look at it year after year, don't you sit there and go like this, here's the last.
You mean the past?
Well, just say this. Don't you look at Kobe and go, you do want a player like that when he has the ball.
Sure.
Of course. And
but that's still the past, right?
look at you. No endorsement. Endorse Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay, I can endorse Jerry West. He was Mr. Clutch. That's the past.
Okay, that's when
what have you done for lately?
Our grandparents seen that part, man. Come on.
Grandparents. That was hey. I'm trying to think who was playing.
He used his own sound effects on Kobe.
That was Clyde Frazier. Hey, we'll be back.
All right. That's so cold, man. Hot picks coming up next, you guys.